How is everyone doing today? Good. I love to hear that, Lily. Good morning, students, parents, faculty, staff, and distinguished guests. My name is Heather Zlanowski, and I am the Executive Director of the Benjamin Franklin Classical Charter Public School. It is my distinct honor to welcome you today to our Capstone Presentations. I could not be more proud of the 45 8th grade students who are sitting in front of us today. Their hard work, dedication, and caring spirit has guided them here, where they will share with us an individually planned and executed community service project that they have successfully completed. 15 months ago, most of these students sat here in this auditorium with the Capstone coordinators introducing them to this intensive project. They have worked through the steps of brainstorming, researching, developing, and executing a project that they feel passionate about to support an organization or raise awareness of a specific cause that is important to them. Over the next 2 days, we will have the privilege of listening to the work of these amazing students and what they've accomplished in the past 15 months. Mahatma Gandhi said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." We will today hear from a group of students who have dedicated their time to the service of others and in the process learned about themselves. You will hear about their projects, the organizations they worked with, the goals they set for themselves, the obstacles they faced in striving to reach their goals, and what they have learned in the process. It has been said that one individual who is determined to make a difference in the world can, with desire, drive, dedication, discipline, passion, and persistence. The world can be altered and billions of people's lives can be impacted positively in an unimaginable way. Just imagine the impact that these 45 young men and women have had on this world. I promise you that after hearing from these students, that you will not only be as proud of them as we are today, but you will be inspired by the stories you hear, the goals they have reached, and the impact they have had on their local, national, and global communities. I'd like to introduce 3 guests that we have with us today. First, we have Jamie Holland, the Franklin Town Administrator. We also have Jeff Roy, our state representative. And Tim Nicolette, the Executive Director of the Massachusetts Charter School Association. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I know you're all very busy with the jobs that you do, but thank you for coming here and listening to our students. We really appreciate the time that you dedicated to being here. And with that, I would love to introduce Mr. Perno, who is going to be our Master of Ceremonies for today's event.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, family and friends and students and special guests, for being here with us today. This day is always one of my favorite days of the year. You are all working so hard to make a difference in your communities. And I don't know that the kids sitting in front of me right now who are so nervous to give their speech in a few minutes realize how special that is. At this school, you've had the opportunity over 9 years, or 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, to have a number of community service experiences. But what you've shown with your Capstone project is that you've internalized the mission of our school, the 4 pillars of our school. Because the Capstone project is not possible without all 4 of those pillars working together. Without all of your experiences with community service, you would not know how a student can make a difference in their world. Without our rigorous academic classical education, you wouldn't have had the skills to go out, to meet people, to interact with people, to write letters, and actually conduct this hard and interesting service projects that you have. Without character education over the past 9 years, or 4 years, or 3 years, you wouldn't have had the empathy and the understanding to identify the needs or the social skills to be able to do some of the work that you've done. And lastly, without our 4th pillar, parents as primary educators, you certainly would have had trouble getting to the places that you were trying to get to all these many weeks that we've been doing our Capstone. So thank you, parents. But in seriousness, parents are a big part of this too. As parents as primary educator means they are your first educator. And they've instilled the values and the trust in you that we've tried to continue as a school. So their support of this project, in support of those other 3 pillars, is what has brought you here today. brought you here to celebrate not only what you've accomplished as an individual, but the difference you've made in your community as an 8th grader. And as you listen to your presentations today, I invite our 6th graders and our 7th graders, and your 8th grade peers and your teachers and all of us to reflect on how what you've achieved as an individual has ripples for our school, positive repercussions in the lives of those you touch and work with, that will carry on and be your legacy for a very long time. I'm so excited today to get to hearing about your projects in your own words. I'd like to just share with you a little bit about how today's presentations will operate. Each advisor will stand up in a few moments and introduce their advising group. And then each advisor will introduce each student one by one. And when one advising group is finished, we'll hear from the second, and we'll hear from the third. The 3 advising groups we'll hear from today are Ms. Sundays, Madame Malouf, and Coach Burke. And I'd be remiss without calling for a big round of applause and a big thank you for those advisors who guided us. Now each...
I just want to share with you one quick story. I know. This morning, just like a capstone, I was just as nervous as you were. This morning I got up early and said, I'm going to have a shower, get dressed, do my hair. I go in, no water. What? No water. But plan B, see, plan B always comes. Bottles of water, and I'm still looking okay. Tyler, Tanya, Ivana, Anthony, Madeline, Akil, James, and Elle. What a journey. We made it. And you have been amazing. You are like, I get just as nervous because I know that it means a lot to you and you've worked very hard. And last year, I was away for 2 months with my mom who was terminally ill. And I was always in touch with you. And thank you to Madame Kovacs, Kelly Kovacs, my colleague and friend, who adopted you and guided you through that time. So, we made it, and it's been challenging, and I've followed you, and I'm proud of you. What makes me proud of you the most is that you pick topics that are very close to your heart, and it wasn't about raising money, but raising awareness and making a difference. You inspire me every day, and I'm just seeing you grow all the time. And I hope that I know some of you will not stop here, but you keep on doing what you're doing, because this is who you are, and this is who we are. When I see some of the alumni still doing community service all the time, this is an amazing, amazing experience. And I know some of you said to me, Madame Malouf, we've been working for a year and a half almost, and I have 5 minutes to tell everyone my story. I'm nervous. What if I don't do well? What if I stop? It doesn't matter. It's about you standing here and sharing what you have experienced, the ups and the downs. So I'm proud of you and congratulations for being and presenting today. And can we start today with Tyler Apicello?
Merci, Madame. Hello, students, faculty, and families of BFCCPS. My name is Tyler Apicello, and for my capstone project, I decided to focus on food allergy awareness. The organization I work with is FAIR, for Food Allergy Research and Education. FAIR is a nonprofit organization that attempts to educate and spread awareness about food allergies throughout communities in our country. I thoroughly enjoyed working on this project because of how it connects to myself and to my family. At a young age, I was diagnosed with food allergies. Since then, my life-threatening allergies have affected me throughout my time here at BFCCPS. When I first heard about the Capstone Project, I knew I wanted to do something that involved food allergy awareness. So my first objective was to encourage participation in donations for a Food Allergy Heroes Walk, which had been organized by FAIR. The mile-long walk took place September 8, 2018, just outside of Boston along the Mystic River. To advertise for the walk, I adapted a FAIR flyer and asked for it to be posted to Ben's Buzz. Although I did not get too many participants to sign up for my advertising, the walk was a huge success for FAIR. It was a blast for my friends and family as well. One of Braden's relatives even joined us with her son. His name also happens to be Tyler, and he has food allergies too. This made me realize that with the help of my family and friends, I not only spread awareness for allergies within the BFCCPS community, but also to other people that I am not familiar with. On top of the 8 participants that attended the walk on behalf of my advertising, Fair received a few very generous donations through my webpage. The second thing I wanted to do was to help spread food allergy awareness by orchestrating a teal shirt day. Teal is the color that represents Fair and food allergy awareness. The date was May 18th, 2018, which is Food Allergy Awareness Week. For this event, I posted flyers around the school describing the event and had a short video on the morning announcements. Through my advertising, I was surprised to find out through class surveys that almost half of the school participated in Teal Shirt Day. I feel as though I was successful in spreading awareness about food allergies at BFCCPS. And my third and final goal for the project was to not get overly worried and stressed about upcoming due dates and projects. I chose this because at the time I was constantly getting worried about the work that we were being given and when it was due. For this goal, I decided to keep a journal about how stressed I felt and what I could do to not become as worried the next week. This system seemed to work for me because I am now more relaxed about my assignments and work, and Johnson Lab's stress management capstone helps too. I also feel more confident in my ability to complete my work on time without having to overwork myself. The first out of a few obstacles that I encountered was when advertising for the fair walk, I tried to reach Mrs. Basili to ask her to put my flyer in Ben's buzz. However, I accidentally misspelled her email, so she did not receive my request. This means that I wasted about a week and a half of precious advertising time before my walk. I overcame this first obstacle by working hard to get the flyer out to people, not just in our school, after I realized that the email was not received. My other obstacle was I only had 8 people sign up for the fair walk. However, I received a few very generous donations from some of the people who did not attend. This means that I did in fact achieve my goal of getting 10 or more participants or donators, even though these donations occurred after the walk. Overall, I enjoyed my capstone project, especially the fair walk with my friends. I also feel that I got a lot out of my personal goal, even though I do still sometimes stress. Although I turned in all of the steps for my project on time, I did test my time management repeatedly throughout the project. On top of managing my time, I learned that I work well with under pressure, especially when I get set back because I misspelled someone's email. I know I would not have been as successful with this project without the help of everyone who participated. Specifically, I would like to thank Mary Cannon and Brenda Sylvia, my contacts at FAIR. Also, a big thank you to my parents for helping me with some of the steps and due dates throughout the project. Thank you to my friends and family who attended the fair walk, and to McMahon Associates for providing a charitable donation to FAIR when they learned about my project. And also thank you to everyone who participated in Teal Shirt Day. And last but not least, a big thank you to my advisor, Madame Malouf, who helped me every step of the way, and to Mrs. Kovacs, who took on our advising group while Madame was away. Have a great day, everyone, and stay allergy friendly. Thanks, Franklin.
Good job, Frank. Amazing. And can we listen now to Tanya Aurora talking about homelessness. Thank you, Tanya.
Hello students, parents, and faculty at BFCCPS. My name is Tanya Aurora, but most of you know me as Tanya. And for my capstone project, I chose to work with Crossroads Family Center. Crossroads is a non-profit and social services organization and shelter in East Boston, Massachusetts. Their mission is to support families as they transition from homelessness to independent living and self-sufficiency. They help homeless people throughout the East Boston area by providing shelter, housing search, case management, stabilization services, job search, and a food pantry to over 70 families every year, as well as a Thanksgiving turkey drive that gave out more than 500 Thanksgiving meals in 2018. I've always remembered that one time when my mom and I walked down a street full of homeless families, and I asked her why they were all begging for food. I then learned that they couldn't afford any basic living items, leave alone a house. When I learned this, I basically forced my mom to give money to every single person on that street. Now, the wallet was probably empty by the time we got to the end of the street, but I remember being really happy when we saw the smiles on kids' faces after giving them money to buy food with. Homelessness is also something that I see all the time, especially in cities. As of right now, there are over 554,000 homeless people living in the United States, and around 1.6 billion homeless people worldwide. That's equivalent to entirely filling up Gillette Stadium 25,000 times. I felt like this inequality needed to change. Although I can't give a home to all 554,000 of them, I can make a difference through smaller actions. Last June, I held a donation drive at the school for non-perishable food items that were then donated to the food pantry at Crossroads. Through this, I educated the school community about my project and the food shortage amongst so many families. I went around to classes to advertise the food drive and talked more about the mission of Crossroads. I also put up flyers around the school with more information on Crossroads and my drive. I ended up collecting over 70 cans for the shelter's food pantry, which leads me to what I did next. I didn't want to do a project where I couldn't volunteer or get involved in ways other than running fundraising. So Crossroads was perfect. They allowed me to volunteer at their food pantry. Over the summer, I volunteered making and handing out bags of food. I volunteered for a total of 10 hours, and it was a really fun experience. I learned a lot about poverty in the East Boston area. People would line up down the block for an hour with their kids just to get 2 or more bags of food for their families that were supposed to last them for the whole week. It was like seeing something as simple as going to the grocery store that I would normally take for granted in a new way. One of the most interesting things I learned from this experience was that almost everyone in that part of Boston spoke Spanish. I never knew there was a community so close to where we all live that speaks a primarily different language other than English. On one particular day, toys were donated to Crossroads to be given out to the kids who came to the food pantry with their parents. I handed one little girl a stuffed animal and saw the way her face lit up. When I was at her age, I had a room full of stuffed animals, and I knew she could not. She was so excited, and although any kid would be excited when given any toy, this little girl in particular was special, and made the volunteering experience even better than it already was. Moving on to my personal goal, which was to volunteer more in class. I started tracking how many times I raised my hand in all my classes in April and May combined, and got a total of 106 times. I then went back to my goal in September and October and tried to raise my hand more. I tried a total of 230 times for September and October combined, which was a difference of over 100. The last thing I did was I made and sold beaded purple bracelets at the Frankfurt Farmers Market. I chose purple because it represents the color of Hamilton Forest. I discovered that the farmers market was also a good way to educate the community on my project. I talked about the shelter's mission and where their money would be going every time someone bought a bracelet. I handed out flyers with information on Crossroads at my table, and the bracelets were sold for $3, $5, and $7 each. I also had an additional donation box at my table that could collect more funds for Crossroads. I sold a total of 80 bracelets and ended up making $275 to donate. I was fortunate enough to have not faced any major obstacles throughout my capstone project. The positive results of my capstone are that I was able to raise more than $200 to donate to Crossroads. I also donated more than 70 non-perishable food items to their food pantry, which was given to families in need. I was able to educate the school and town community on my project and homelessness, and had the opportunity to volunteer for the cause. This project has taught me a lot about helping others. I saw people line up on the block for over an hour, even when it was pouring outside, just to get 2 bags of food that was supposed to last them for the whole week. I learned how you can make a small difference just by doing something as simple as giving someone less fortunate a bag of food. I have always thought that it was important to give a meal to anyone without a home or struggling on the streets. Through Capstone, I have been able to expand upon that idea with more meaningful actions. I would like to thank my advisor, Madame Malouf, my parents, and to everyone who bought a bracelet or donated to my food drive. Have a great day, everyone, and thank you for listening to my speech.
Good job, Tanya. Thank you for your service. I'd like to introduce Ivana Zuba, please, working with the elderlies.
Hello everyone. My name is Ivana Zuba, and for my capstone project, I wanted to help work with the elderly. I wanted to do this for many reasons. I grew up learning to respect the elderly because they lived around my neighborhood, and also my grandma lives with us. When I heard from the local news that the population of neglected seniors was gradually growing, it broke my heart to see that they had no support from anybody. That was when I knew that helping the elderly would be a perfect topic and would give me a chance to give back to the community. I used to drive past the Franklin Senior Center every day on my bus ride to school, and when I found out that it was a local senior center, it seemed to be a great organization to work with. I emailed Sue Barber, an employee that worked there, right away, and she replied with ways that I could help out, and I was very excited. One of the ideas she gave me was to make something special to give to them that would brighten their day. For my first goal, I decided that making greeting cards would be a good way to make their day. I started as soon as I could, and I worked through the spring months and was overall able to make 74 greeting cards. A few friends helped me write inspirational quotes and make pop-up flyers. I was very excited to bring them in so that they could be passed out. I made some to go to the Memorial Day and Thanksgiving Day events and the events that were held at the center. At these events, I was told by Sue that they were individually passed out to needy seniors. They enjoyed opening them and seeing how they were thought of. That made me very happy. After that, I still wanted to get to know a few of the people that received the cards. So in July, I spent a few hours each day there and found out that they love to tell stories and share their memories with me. One of the stories I heard was about how a man's dog loved scaring skunks. Others told me stories from when they were growing up, and they seemed so proud to share this with me. During the time I spent there, I also went to the program room, welcoming seniors and helping set up projects for them to be entertained by. We played bowling and made arts and crafts projects, and altogether, I spent about 10.5 hours with these elderly. I really appreciated my time and learning so much from them. I cherished every moment I spent there. Lastly, for my personal goal, I wanted to become more comfortable sharing my ideas and opinions in class. Towards the end of the school year, I focused on this, and I felt more and more comfortable sharing and participating in class too. To record my progress at the end of each day, I rated on a scale from 1 to 5 how comfortable I was sharing my opinions in my classes. At the end of the school year, I looked through my agenda to see the scales, and I felt like I could share my opinions easier without becoming too nervous. I learned a lot from my capstone project, despite some of the obstacles that I had to face. Originally, I planned to do an art contest with the younger grades, where they had to draw how they spend time with their families. I tried to cram the contest in before that school year was over, and that was one of my flaws. I learned that things should be thought out and well planned before they are put into action. Thankfully, the drawings were still able to be hung in the senior center for a day for all of them to be seen. It was still a success, even though I did not get the amount of students I desired. I now know that I can get through these stressful situations without going insane. The most important thing is that through this journey, I was able to help the elderly by reminding them that they are thought of and how important they are in our lives. My capstone project would not have been successful without the help and support of many people. Thank you to Sue Barber, the staff member at the center, for answering any questions I would have and putting my plans into action. Thank you to Ms. Sunday and Ms. Kovacs for making the capstone process so much easier. And thank you to my advisees and Madame Malouf, my advisor, for getting me through the entire project. This was a great experience for me, and I am proud of what I got out of it. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, my advisor. Thank you, Tyler, Tanya, and Ivana. Great start to our presentation. Can we continue the work, the amazing work you've been doing? I'd like to introduce Anthony Maley.
Did you know that an average American eats about 4 pounds of litter each day? If the rest of the world produced as much as Americans, there would be about 10 million tons daily, or 4 trillion tons yearly. Hello parents, students, and faculty at BFCCPS. My name is Anthony Neely, and I came to BFCCPS in 7th grade. And ever since I've heard about the Capstone Project, I knew immediately what I wanted to do. I'm trying to stop pollution. I think that most people don't know what they're doing when they throw trash on the ground. My main goal for my capstone was cleaning up Trill Park in Medway. I chose this because I've been playing baseball there for most of my life, and there's always been trash laying around. I've never really known the real effects of pollution. I've been fishing there, and I've seen many people throwing water bottles and bags in the pond. I've seen fish try to eat bottle caps and small pieces of bags, and I was unsure what the results would be. The mistake of eating plastic can cause blockages within their digestive system and eventually death. We filled up about 4 whole trash bags full of fishing line, which animals can get caught in, bottles and bottle caps, and anything that we found that could possibly be harmful towards our environment. My second goal of Capstone was educating others about my project, especially younger kids, because I felt like they remember it more. I went to kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade and read them the Earth book by Todd Clark. I asked the students about how they can help with pollution. Some of them even gave me thoughts about and how they help out at home with conserving resources. Some of their examples were turning off TV and lights when not needed, turning off the faucet when they're done brushing their teeth, and of course, recycling. Even all of you listening can help out by giving up plastic bags, taking your own reusable ones to the store, skip straws unless you have medical needs, and even then you can use paper ones. Pass up plastic straws, invest in a refillable water bottle, avoid plastic packaging, Buy bar soap instead of using liquid soap in plastic bottles. Recycle what you can, and just don't litter. Another way that I educated people was getting some of my friends to help me clean up Trout Park on November 18, 2018. We got together and spent a few hours picking up garbage around the pond and in the playground. We split into groups of 2 to go to different spots all around the park, and one of my friends even volunteered to go through the walking trail and pick up trash in the woods, which made me happy that we cleaned up most of the pond and park. However, when I was planning to clean up the park, I thought that I was going to be able to clean it up in the summer when it was warm. But because of construction, I had a major obstacle that I faced. I had to wait until it was cold and we were slow, and we were trying to be warm. But I think that we took longer, and I think that we cleaned up more than I intended, and which in my opinion is amazing. And I know that we probably saved an animal's life. Another obstacle was people not making it, so we didn't have as many people as intended going. We only had about 5 people going and cleaning up. I have never really been the person to stay organized. For a while, my grades have not been the best that they could be, and I couldn't find my work. I made my personal goal to be more organized. At the beginning of this year, I tried to stay organized, and it is working. My grades are better, and I'm handing in most of my assignments. I feel like a powerful result came out of my capstone project. Not only the pond and park looked clean, indeed, the animals were healthy, but overall, everything in the park was healthy. The trees will grow, water will be clean, and less animals will choke or die on plastic and artificial products. I know that some of the kids in the lower grades are helping at home to do their part to stop littering. We all learned that doing the cleanup to help out your community doesn't just affect us, but it can affect animals' lives. Not to mention, I know that overall people will be doing their part, and you can make the earth clean by just doing one big thing, which is recycling. I would like to say thank you to my advisor, Madame Malouf, for helping me through my capstone journey, my advising group, my friends who helped me clean up the pond, Mrs. L and Mrs. Mooney for giving me advice how I should write and organize my essays and slides, my parents for supporting me the whole way through. Good luck to everyone that is presenting their capstone projects today and tomorrow. Thank you all for listening and have a good day.
Thank you, Anthony. Good job. Okay, we follow up with Madeline Hendricks.
I'm Madeline Hendricks, and I'm BFCCPS 2019 class. I've chosen littering and how it affects the environment for my capstone project. When I came in 7th grade, I had no idea what capstone was, but now, here I am. The awareness group that I partnered with is the Charles River Conservancy. As an 8-year-old, I would go to parks that would have some trash, but not a lot. Then I would leave the park and see much more trash than I had before. I decided that I wanted to take action for my capstone project. Littering is something that has been in my mind for a very long time. I can assure you that when you are driving home, you will see plastics and styrofoams on the side of the road. Seeing trash on the road is upsetting. Styrofoams, they're used a lot. This is an issue that many people are also addressing, but it is not enough. The amount of plastic waste on Earth is unbelievable. There's an island of trash floating in the Pacific Ocean that is twice the size of Texas. This is unsettling, and I want to do what I could do to help. Through this project, I learned that waste is often hiding in plain sight, and we have become blind to it. My first goal was to volunteer for 9 hours, but I ended up surpassing that, and I came together with 11 hours. One park that I worked in was in Watertown, Massachusetts. It was off the main road in a popular neighborhood, but it was still neglected. I found this shocking. I found not only garbage, but discarded car parts, clothing, drug paraphernalia, and silverware. There were no trash bins in an easily accessible location. People probably became lazy and didn't feel like taking the time to walk to one. The park bordered the river, and it was likely that some wind would blow some trash into the Charles River. At another event, I worked back to cut bittersweet vines along the edge of the river. This invasive plant wraps itself along other native plants and slowly kills them. If left unchecked, the species can cause terrible damage to plants that animals rely on. While volunteering, I have also seen dead animals that died due to pollution, for example, birds and fish. It was very upsetting. I was able to bring my older brother, Nate, to a cleanup event. Nate needed community service hours for Franklin High School. He wasn't focused on litter and the environment before Capstone, but now he is. Now we plan to go together to events coming in the spring.
This past Thanksgiving, I have talked about my experiences with my family and friends. Nate and the holidays helped to contribute to my second goal, spreading awareness. I'm hoping that after hearing how severe the problem is and how easy it is to help, that some of my family members will join me in the spring as well as my brother. All of the volunteer events were on Saturdays. Each one was about an hour drive from home. This was difficult to schedule because I often had dance rehearsals on Saturdays. Even when I was not busy, I needed one of my parents to also be available for the day. I was fortunate in that I started planning early. With the scheduling obstacle and events happening only one Saturday a month, it would be difficult for me to attend enough of them if I had started any later than I had. For one of the events, I had a bad case of poison ivy. It was uncomfortable, but I knew it was my only opportunity for the month, so I continued working. Before I attended the first event, I was nervous because I knew that there would be so many other people that could help because it was earthquake. Everyone was really open and helpful, and we all worked well together. The volunteer coordinator showed us how to use the tools. I was lucky because all the events were held in spring and summer. Every event was on a sunny and beautiful day in the city. Although litter itself can never be a positive, experiencing it firsthand helped me to understand how bad the problem was, even in local areas. As part of my personal goal, I wanted to work on being more confident when asking for assistance. I have never been confident when it comes to asking for help. I wanted to tell you the amount of times I was asking, but I got very lazy. However, I kept note of asking for help, and now I ask fairly often. I would like to thank my parents for taking the time to bring me to my volunteer events. I want to thank my brother Nate for accompanying me in my capstone journey, and I want to thank the Charles River Conservancy for working with me during my capstone. And last but not least, thank you to my advisor and my advisory group for supporting me throughout my capstone.
What an amazing work those 13-year-old, 14-year-old students doing and are aware of our environment. We're going to continue with the plastic pollution and what we did our environment with Akil Savant.
Good morning, students, faculty, and parents of BFCCPS. My name is Akil Savant. For my capstone project, I chose to work with the plastic pollution cause. We all see the signs that say no litter, and we all wonder why this message is so important. Some may think that the soda can or even the straw that they are throwing away won't do anything. It's just a tiny speck in comparison to the vast environment. But they're wrong. That little soda could choke an innocent animal or stay in its stomach for hours until it dies of indigestion or pain. Despite the efforts of plastic pollution organizations, we still see a decline in bird population, beaches covered with plastic debris, and sea life is swimming with plastic stuck in their bodies. But where is this plastic coming from? Our 7% of the plastic is coming to sea from our homes. So how did I go from seeing my garbage pail as a part of the plastic pollution cycle with a direct connection between me and the waterways across the world? You see, while walking on a beach during my summer vacation, it took me to the core after seeing enormous amounts of plastic debris along the coastline. That was the first time it made me think of what can be done and what would be my contribution to making this a necessary change. Therefore, I chose to work on plastic pollution to preserve our planet. To start this project off well informed, my first and personal goal was educating myself on the topic. I pledged 1 hour every week to learn more about plastic pollution. Through my research, I saw many things that actually surprised me. These were statistics and images. Did you know that 15,342 tons of plastic is generated by the majority of Asian countries every day? The majority of plastic pollution is caused by food wrappers, containers, and straws. Let's see how we can still make a small yet significant difference by finding other alternatives. You can use reusable paper bags as an alternative. Plastic beverage bottles don't need to use either. Stainless steel thermoses keep liquids cold, hot, and they're reusable. You see, we can still use more environment-friendly alternatives to plastic that still have better qualities. My second goal was to look for an opportunity to become part of the plastic pollution cleanup campaign. This will allow me to understand the impact on an international level. So, during my summer vacation in India, I took part in a beach cleaning activity every weekend to learn about the common items thrown away. I also learned how rapidly plastic returns to the shoreline. I spent 4 Sundays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. cleaning the beaches. I knew that if we as people on Earth don't come together and stop the use of plastic, or at least find alternatives, we may never get our beautiful planet back. My final goal was raising awareness throughout my neighborhood. as well as the younger grades in my school. So I passed out one pamphlet to each household in my neighborhood, asking for any amount of a donation towards the Plastic Pollution Coalition. Many people donated very generous amounts and were very interested in the movement. The next part of my goal was raising awareness at my school. I gave a quick speech about plastic pollution to grades K through 5, which would educate the kids on how to prevent plastic use and the harms of plastic in general. The innocent questions I got from the students made my project very interesting, while observing their sad and worried faces showed their concern towards the sea life. During this project, I faced a few obstacles along the way. One was finding out a way to contribute to the cause. This was until my uncle suggested to work with J Foundation and participate in their weekly beach cleanups. The next obstacle was the actual cleanup. The first cleanup was a rather unusual experience, as picking up the plastic out of the wet sand started to become tedious. But after 2 cleanups, I saw how a group was starting to make a difference by our effort, one small area at a time. Through these obstacles, many positive results emerged. I educated myself on the topic and got to meet some really amazing people who are truly dedicated to this cause. Finally, by passing out educational pamphlets to young students and locals, I was able to educate my community and encourage them to make a difference in the environment. In conclusion, this capstone project was an amazing experience for me. I learned how to make a positive difference in the environment by making a simple change in my life. You can do it too. I'd like to thank my parents and my advisor, Madame Malouf, for giving me excellent advice and always being their brains to brainstorm ideas. I'd also like to thank Jay from the J Foundation for allowing me to join this group for the cleanups, as well as the Plastic Pollution Coalition, who using my donation to help the world become a better place. Please, spread the word about plastic pollution for Earth's sake. Do what it takes down to cut down on plastic. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Thank you.
Thank you, Akil. And yes, amazing. And Massachusetts, we so many places have stopped plastic, which is great. They use paper instead of recycle, so excellent. So we introduce now a different topic, feral cats. Jay's home.
400,000. That's the number of feral cats in Massachusetts. I, James Hogan, have personally decided to combat the issue of feral cats. I would like to help feral or stray cats have sufficient condition to live, but not to reproduce. I chose this as the focus of my capstone project because all of my cats were once feral. This fate has mostly impacted the one named Chicken. Being a feral has impacted her life in many, many ways. She has crippling anxiety and will refuse to go near anything or anyone she does not trust 100%. I've been living with her for years, and she still won't go near me half the time. Seeing this effect breaks my heart, so I decided to do everything I needed to in order to help these ferals. But to start, we have to ask ourselves, what is a feral cat? A feral cat is a cat with little or no human interaction. In the United States, there are over 70 million feral cats. Imagine in this school if every classroom had a class pet somewhere in the wild they had no idea about. That's no fantasy. That's what's going on right now. We need less of these feral, stray, wild cats. These cats can destroy property, endanger wildlife, and they have been an overall negative force for the population. They can carry diseases, including toxoplasmosis and lymphoreticulosis, also known as cat scratch fever. These diseases have been linked to prolonged fevers, fatigue, and chronic pain. Before we get into my goals, we got to get through some obstacles. For me, I think I had one of the worst. I started working on the capstone experience with an organization for weeks. After these weeks of working with said organization, Paws of Plainville, they decided to close their doors and shut down completely. This took a huge toll on my capstone project. I had gone months on end without a single sentence being written to continue my capstone project. I had lost all motivation for my capstone project. With time, however, I got back up on my feet. Let me be real with you guys. I get really depressed. Like super depressed. I will go home and I will go without working for weeks on end. The word that describes this effect in question, which from here on out I will refer to as the P word, is procrastination. The P word is a normal part of life, but I have had one of the worst cases most teachers have ever seen. I P-worded for so long, I forgot how to not P-word. In the end though, everything turned out okay. I personally believe that my capstone project was a success because it meant a lot to me, not just then, but now. For my first goal, I built a home for the feral and stray cats near Franklin. I decided to build my cat shelter so that not many things would be getting in the way of it and so that it could blend in well. To understand why I built the cat shelter, we have to go over the concept of trap, neuter, release, or TNR. This is how organizations deal with feral cats. They trap them, they neuter them, and then they release them back into the wild. This prevents them from reproducing and therefore slowly makes the population decrease. To build my shelter, I used a Rubbermaid bin and a cooler. I stuffed the shelter with hay, just like a turkey, and even included a very luxurious entrance and exit scheme. If you look up at the wonderful presentation I have created, here are some pictures. I got all of my materials and went to work on it. It took me a long time to finish it. I had spent many days preparing for it and spent an entire Saturday setting this thing up. Finishing it, I feel very grateful. I even got to work a jigsaw. I put many, many hours into this project. For my second goal, I held a donation drive and collected donations. I gave these donations to Perfect Cat Shelter in Medway. They accepted this generous donation with open arms and even sent me a card afterwards thanking me for my donation and confirming that it was a tax-deductible donation. For my third goal, my personal goal, I wrote a 2-page essay on the effects of anxiety. Thank you to Miss Sunday for the idea. I have moderate problems with anxiety, and so doing something like this fulfills my third goal. It ties in with my P-wording too. When I P-word, I stress in the back of my head about everything I haven't completed. This makes me just a huge emotional mess, and I will not get anything done at all. So, to summarize, feral cats are destroying the community around us. Despite them not directly interfering with humans, their actions do affect us greatly. Their negative impact on the world is often overlooked by us. However, we do need to realize this is a real issue. Thank you to my capstone group, Perfect Cat Shelter, my family, especially Sam, Hannah, my mom, and my dad. And most importantly, thank you to myself for putting up with the hours I had to do to complete this project. Thank you all. Have a great day.
I wish I could present like you. Meals on wheels.
So, hello students, faculty, and parents. My name is Elle Yerkson. I am an 8th grader at the BFCCPS, and my capstone was on Meals on Wheels. I have been so happy to start this capstone project from the second I heard the capstone speeches in 6th grade. It might have been a boring 2 hours for many, but it really took me into consideration on what I'm doing for the people on the planet today. This initially took me down the wonderful route of veterans, but when I found out all I could do is donate money, my heart told me to find something else. I like to serve and help others by dedicating my time, so when I was out of ideas, I went to my amazing advisor, Madame Malouf. She suggested Meals on Wheels. She said it was a meal drop-off and packaging for the elderly. It was a thing her mother did before she passed away. Do you know 65% of people over 75 can't cook for themselves because of their condition? It made me very sad, and I knew I wanted to work with Meals on Wheels. So I called them, and they were so happy when I talked to them, and they let me volunteer to help package the meals. I was so excited to help this worthy organization that I made 3 goals for myself. My first goal was to volunteer for 2 days and 2 hours every day, which I surpassed by going 4 days and 2 hours. I didn't just surpass my goal just to say I surpassed my goal, but it was because I loved going to see and help the elderly that needed meals. My second goal was to hold a clothing drive to raise money for the meals. My objective was to raise at least $100 worth of clothes. In the end, I exchanged enough clothes to raise $150, which translates to 50 meals since the average donation for meals is $30. Last but not least was my third personal goal was not to fall behind. I have a delay inside of me since 6th grade, but this year I've grown. I've built my missing assignments and I'm much happier with the work that I'm putting in. This only happened because I've been writing in my journal on what I need to do for homework. This helped me a lot since this led me to find positive results. I never wanted to do anything harder than schoolwork. Trust me, if I could teach the easy way out, I would. But never have have I ever with anything made me want to work harder than when I worked with Meals on Wheels. They had shown me from the people that worked there and the elderly that needed special foods that there was something to work for. I and others packaged over 300 meals in 4 days. I am very happy and satisfied to be able to provide the elderly who got those meals. I have almost all my assignments turned in throughout the last year from my journal. When I completed my goals, I was excited, exhilarated even. It did take a while to get there, but it was because I finished my 3 action plan goals by December. And my clothing drive started in November. And to my surprise, I had gotten 30 bags, more than I had hoped for that people would donate. I have been working and volunteering at Meals on Wheels, so I have my second goal finished by October. What I loved about it was seeing the part of the dedicated group of volunteers making healthy meals for the elderly. It was a very satisfying experience, and I've grown as a person by doing this. Gail, the director of Meals on Wheels House in Franklin, Massachusetts at the Grace Baptist Church, was the one who taught me how to package the bread and put the meals in the bags. She organized all the volunteers like Bob, Larry, Judy, and Maria. She is the one who helped everyone's meals be put in order and tidied up afterwards. She has been nothing but an inspiration hiding from people. She is my inspiration. She always has a list ready for which meals to make, and she's always up early setting up tables and putting away chairs so we can set the meal. And those meals, they include veggies, some types of meat, bread, and then desserts. They also hot meals, regular meals, diet, frozen, and special, for the elderly who cannot eat sugar or unhealthy things that hurt their bodies. The obstacles I encountered was finding a place to buy the donated clothes. I was only able to find a place to buy the clothes, kids' clothes, even though the donations were all clothing types. I tried to find a place to purchase by the pound without any luck. Looking for a place to resell my clothes pushed back my clothing drive timeline, and I wanted to find a better place before my drive. Another obstacle was Meals on Wheels, and they moved halfway into the summer, which means my volunteer hours were limited. I overcame my obstacles, and I feel like I've gotten better at time management. Since this year, I've held 18 meetings. I've also learned throughout my project that I am lucky. I am blessed with 2 working parents able to provide and guide me. One that has helped me to drive Meals on Wheels, also volunteering at Meals on Wheels, and the other coaching me to break my speech. I am lucky that my parents can cook, but for some older people they can't, and that's really sad. It only wants me to do something more. I want to show my appreciation, so thank you all grandmothers and grandfathers in the crowd. I would also like to thank my parents for guiding me and giving me love and support, my friends and family who stand track, Madame, my awesome advisor, plus my advisees, Akil, Anthony, Ivana, Madeline, Tanya, and Tyler. The people that donate clothes, children's orchards for making most of the clothes, and last but not least, Gail and Meals on Wheels who have made the best capstone